We commonly get feedback from patients who have been in our stroke rehabilitation ward, and they often say that there was a lot of focus on physical recovery, but not much focus on psychosocial.
I've been a physio for a very long time, and I'd like to think that we try and make it fun. It's very drill oriented and it's very confronting. You're practicing something that's hard all the time. As soon as you can do it, we move on to the next thing. What we know in the recovery from stroke thing is if they're going to develop new patterns of movement, which they have to do because they've got brain damage, why are we getting them to practice, one way?
They often suggest to us that we should have more art therapy, music therapy, dance therapy. But the problem for us is that there's not really a lot of evidence that those kinds of approaches improve outcomes. So what we decided to do was to do a trial and actually try and build some evidence. We knew that Gary Stewart and Susan Hellier had done a bit of work in the area, looking at dance with brain injury. So we got them involved and we were fortunate enough to get some funding from Lifetime Support.
Formerly, I was the Director of Assemblage, Centre for Creative Arts at Flinders University, and within that role I met Professor Maria Crotty. The centre was working on an arts and health program that continues to this day. So under the aegis of that, Maria and I commenced a number of discussions about how we might work together on a research project. Because I'm a choreographer and I was a former director of Australian Dance Theatre, it seemed most logical to work with dance.
So what we've done is we've got two groups. One group where you receive exercise therapy in a gym. We've got another group where you dance with dancers present and music. We've got a computer program which essentially tosses a coin and you get randomly allocated to one or other group. What we're going to do is see which kind of treatment has what sort of effects, which one improves function, which one improves mood, are there side effects, do people fall, are there problems, do people come to the classes? And we're also trying to get some information which will allow us to do a larger trial.
Dance actually, quite apart from the creativity and the fun of it, actually makes more sense from a neuroscience point of view, because what we're asking them to do is find a new way of moving. And we know from motor control theory, we know from neuroplasticity, that giving them a movement challenge and asking them to generate different movement solutions is the way to go. My hope is, if I'm allowed to have a hope as a researcher, is that they will tell us that it was more engaging, they felt more motivated because it was fun. We could imagine that being in a group may have benefits. Some of our previous research suggests that at certain times after stroke, working in a group collaboratively, it gives peer support and is positive. We also have some evidence people don't feel safe in a group environment. We might hear that they'll say, oh no, it was fun, but it all felt a bit pointless. We might hear that. We've got an open mind, which is why we're doing it as a research project, because we want to actually hear from the people who are doing it spontaneously what their experience has been.
I think there can be a bit of a misconception about dance, and people think of professional dancers, but everyone dances, everyone has a body, everyone can move, and so really dance is everyone's birthright. It's going to be really exciting to see what the outcomes are on this project and what that might lead to in the future.
I had a stroke in early April, I guess. I'd lost some peripheral vision out of my left-hand side and I had a bit of a sight deficit for a little while, and I felt dizzy and I had numbness down my left arm. I was lucky my wife was on the ball. She suspected I was having a stroke when I rang her at work to say something wasn't right, and then I was sitting in emergency here at Flinders and I said something nonsensical, and she asked me to pull my mask down and look at her, and my face had dropped, and so she yelled out, and yeah.
Well, I just sort of collapsed and I just could not stand there. So I managed to finally get back into the house and, I feel I could be having a stroke, so dialed 3 zeros and everything happened from there. The lady came in the little ambulance car and she checked me through and called the main ambulance. And although it was ramping here then, but it just straight through it, it didn't hang around. And then I went home after 3 days and say, out 2 days and then came back and everything happened again. I was in for nearly a month. So
I had a serious brain injury in June. I fell over taking the bins, or a very heavy bin out. Fell over in my driveway, took the bin out and thought, oh, gee, my head's sore. So the next day I said to Mum, I think I need to go down to Noarlunga Hospital and get it checked. Well, they didn't muck around. They put me straight down, put me straight on the list, put me straight into the ward. I haven't lost function of, my hands or my feet or legs or anything like that. But my balance was really out of whack. So, yeah, I'm slowly recovering.
What do you hope to achieve in 10 weeks' time when we meet again?
The main thing is I want to keep my confidence boosted. I want to feel more relaxed in myself and I'm a bit of a head person, Susan. So not so much in my head and balanced in myself, so I don't need the stick for a bit of confidence, and I can go back to work at some point when I'm ready.
Do you have any concerns or worries about being in the dance class?
none at all. I mean, I'd say it gets me out of the house because I got my own little apartment and you don't see anyone, and I like being with people, and I find I'm very isolated at the moment.
I would have agreed regardless of whether it was dance or the regular physiotherapy, but I'm hoping just to be fitter, stronger. Yeah, that's one of the main things for me, yeah.
I never ever got around to doing the tango, which would have been nice, but...
Do you think that might be a goal for this dance class?
I think so.
When we describe dance, you might think about a performance and, you know, the show and the lights and everything. But when we talk about dance as therapeutic benefits, it's the whole movement. It's the everyday movement.
I thought that I'd write some things down that we maybe thought about dance, like so that we could have together our collective minds. Just
Space.
Space to think about. Oh, space. Oh, not space to think about dance. Space is one of your word.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was launching
The
in.
good word, Diane. Ready. Okay.
Dance has a broad range of therapeutic benefits. Dance can be used just as fun. Dance can be used as more of a diversional technique, something that's just a distraction from what's going on. Or we can really use dance alongside the rehabilitation methods like physiotherapy and working with occupational therapy, or I've seen people working in hydrotherapy here.
Probably one for me is memories. My daughter danced for a long time. I loved going to her dance concerts when she was little. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the two ways that memory could be as well. It is such a good way for us to engage with our memories.
That makes me think of family too.
Dance has the ability to be inclusive of a whole person, their social, their emotional needs, their cognitive as well as physical needs. One of the exercises that we've been doing with the participants is to connect memories, both recent memories as well as memories from the past, and then projecting our ideas of where we're going to be and what we're going to be doing in the future, so that there's a connection of what we do in our dance sessions that carries on into what can happen out in the world.
Memory, yes. Climbing up on the roof. And getting up by the chimney stack. Granddad, I can't get down. And poor old Granddad had to climb up the bloody roof.
So what was your position up there?
Hanging on.
Each person has created and contributed their own movements, and the rest of us have all tried those movements on for size. We reflect back to someone what they've been creating, and I hope that they'll sort of have that as a bit of a takeaway, a dance that they've created for themselves. We want to be able to include everyone and find ways that they want to be able to contribute to their own movement. It's really like Where is our body at today? Do you want to move with your left side or your right side? Or do you want to work with a partner, or do you want to work by yourself? And then there's that opportunity to go be in the supported seat when you need it, dance on your own 2 feet when you can. Let's build and develop those strengths. So yeah, just in these first few sessions, I started to see people really come to the party.
"5 weeks, halfway through now.
How are you finding it?
A little bit strange, because when I first came I thought we were going to a bit of Fred Astaire, you know. Oh. But I didn't expect so much choreography. But it was,
I have had more energy than I have had over the last few years.
I'm really enjoying it, yeah. It's a little bit different to sort of, I guess, what I expected it was going to be when I knew it was going to be dancing. So I guess the challenging thing for me, rather than the movement, has been the using my imagination and creativity.
I'm still having difficulty in walking when having to have the cart there.
Is it harder than you thought it would be?
Well, it is when your feet don't want to do what you want to do up here. And we hit the ground and roll. I've been waiting 80 years to do that.
Yeah, building up all of the...
We've done mirroring with each other. We've done a little bit of grooving and different songs and had a good laugh.
It's always hard, but I think it's getting easier each time I come. I hope to just keep being a bit more creative and a bit more free with my movements and yeah.
Good, thank you for that. Oh, hello, Bob. Nice to see you here. Hey?
You go through life thinking that you're one way or the other, and I like having structure. So yeah, to find that there was a bit of imagination there was a bit of a surprise, absolutely. The movement side of it was different to what I was expecting. Once I let myself go more and more, the more I went, the more enjoyable it became and the more I got out of it, definitely. I got a bit more balanced and graceful. I was pretty lucky with my recovery that I didn't have too much loss. I've definitely noticed that I'm not tripping over stuff as much. Yeah, I'm more aware of myself.
Well, it was not what I thought it was going to be. No, it's been enjoyable. Yeah, something different. Got me out of myself, sort of went to another world. I think the hard part for me was sometimes keeping up with what was happening, remembering what to do.
I found the dance classes fantastic. Sometimes they were hard work because of my balance, but because of the crew that's in there supporting us, I've had a wonderful time. I would not hesitate in coming here. If you could, learn to get your balance back, learn to trust people again.
Plans for the future is to keep exercising and getting myself back to 100%. I don't have too many days where I'm just wiped at the end of the day now, which is fantastic.
I am going to miss the class because I get so much joy out of coming here. I'm going to miss them terribly.
Life doesn't last forever, so get in there and enjoy it.